Hello, welcome to an educational moment. I'm your host, Dr. Pat Dingle. Today, or tonight, because this program airs in multiple formats, morning, afternoon, and early evening, we have two very special, dynamic guests. Our guests are Miss Robin Short and Trey Thorne. Both of our guests are international Taekwondo champions. Hi, Robin.
Hi, Dr. Dingle.
Hi, Trey.
Hey, Dr. Dingle.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for coming on being my very special guest today.
It's okay.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
My pleasure. As normal, on an educational moment, we try to speak to experts in their field, and I know they're young and they don't consider themselves experts, but I'm going to call them experts tonight. We talk to experts in their fields and professionals, and we talk about what they do and how they got involved. So, I'm really excited about hearing about Taekwondo tonight. All right. As you know, I told you, I promised we would have a nice little conversation, right?
Yes.
Right.
No trick questions. Robin,
Yes.
how did you become involved in Taekwondo?
I became involved in Taekwondo at the age of 12. My uncle Sonny, he was a 5th Dan black belt, and he got me involved in his class. And he basically got me involved because when I was in elementary school, I was bullied a lot. I would get picked on every day, and I didn't have very much self-confidence. So he and my parents thought that that me learning martial arts would not only help me to learn to defend myself, but also to give me more self-confidence.
Well, that's wonderful. And a beautiful young lady like you being bullied. Shame, shame on those bullies. Shame, shame. They tend to pick on nice little wonderful young people. So I apologize for their bullying. Shame on them. And bullying is a great big issue in the county now and also nationally because educators really don't want children bullied. Trey, when did you first become involved in Taekwondo and how old were you?
Well, Dr. Dingle, I actually became involved with Taekwondo. I was little, 2 years old and exact. Doing workouts with my mom, Billy Blanks, Taibo, and also I loved Bruce Lee. He was like one of my heroes. I have posters about him. He's, I think, the best imitating him, copying him. And I started at 2, but I started class at Washington Taekwondo Club at the age of 4.
Fantastic. Both two very early starters. And you mentioned Bruce Lee. Oh my, Bruce Lee is one of my favorites. I try to look at a Bruce Lee movie anytime I get a chance. Fantastic. And you have posters too?
Yes, I
I
have
have to check your posters out.
a lot of posters.
Okay. It's my understanding that the martial arts teach you really many, many things. Trey, what did you learn from practicing Taekwondo?
Well, I actually learned a lot of things, but the main things that I learned is discipline and focus. You have to have those two things out of anything to succeed in martial arts. I also learned that you have to be dedicated to martial arts, and you can't just say, I want to be a martial artist and expect to have everything get easy to you. You have to practice. You have to really practice. So that's what I think I learned in martial arts.
Great, discipline and focus. And it's significant that you said this, Trey, because discipline and focus is a part of many, many professions. And in order to reach the highest level in these different professions or disciplines, you do have to have the focus. So that's very, very, I certainly thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
A lot of times in school, we have to have focus
Yep.
and also discipline too. Robin, I know that you practice Taekwondo. I also know that you are an instructor. What do you want your students to learn when you teach them?
Yes, I'm an assistant instructor at 5 Star Taekwondo. Our master instructor is Grandmaster John Cloyd. And basically, the main thing that we focus on with our students is discipline, respect for themselves and for their classmates, and focus and dedication. Just as Trey said, in order to succeed in the martial arts, you have to stay consistent in your training, and every night in practice you have to give your best. Sometimes my students say that I'm strict on them because I don't allow them to be lazy, or I don't allow them to just go through the motions, because I feel that in order to really refine your technique and to be the best, you have to give it your best and you have to give it your all. You may not get it right every time, but you have to try each time until you get it right.
All right. Well, I'm going to tell the television audience now, when you go and you take class with Robin, don't be deceived. She has already let you know she's a tough instructor. Robin, let me ask you another question. Why do you think that Taekwondo is an excellent medium to learn in?
I think that Taekwondo is an excellent medium for several reasons. First of all, it's not only just an athletic thing, but it's also an art. And there are so many different aspects to it. There's kata, there's weapons, there's sparring. But aside from the athletics, it takes a strong mental prowess in order to succeed in martial arts, because you first have to believe that you can do it. And you also, it takes a lot of practice and learning, and you have to condition your mind. Your hands and your feet have to move together, and you have to remember the movements, and in your self-defense. And with sparring, in order to win a fight, it's not the person that's more powerful, but it's the person who can outsmart their opponent. So I think the mental capacity that it takes is a big part of martial arts.
Mental capacity. These are really, really important terms. Mental capacity, focus, discipline. I like those terms, yes. All right, you two are doing an excellent job of answering my questions and also informing our television audience, and I want to thank you for that. Trey, back to you. Tell me about some of the tournaments, and before I say that, look at all these medals. Whoa! Pretty impressive. Not only did they bring these medals, but they're also wearing some medals. So, Trey, would you tell me about some of the tournaments that you have participated in?
Well, yes. I've competed in important tournaments like the Chang Lee tournament, Dennis Brown, the Capital Classics, the Kids Classics, also international tournaments. And I've competed in a lot of tournaments. The latest tournament, the most recent, was last year's World Games. I represented Team USA, Team America, and we brought home some good trophies.
Fantastic. So already, how old are you?
I am 12.
And you are on representing Team America. My goodness, doing an international tournament.
Yes.
Whoa!
I'm actually about to be a junior black belt, so.
Really?
Yeah.
A junior black belt?
Yes.
Well, let me congratulate you. That is wonderful.
Yes. So I've put a lot of work in to, because this black belt test is not a piece of cake like your white belt test. This is one of the most important tests of your life. So even if you pass, you're gonna feel good about yourself, because it takes just about 3 hours. You can bleed and everything, and you just have the discipline and focus and perseverance to push on. So I really am excited to go on and about to test for my junior black belt.
Well, I wish you well.
Thank you.
A 3-hour test.
Yep.
Well, you're going to make it.
Yep.
I can see it in your eyes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Robin, what tournaments have you participated in?
I've participated in a lot of local tournaments, such as the Okinawan Classic, the Simba Grand Championships, and some of the other local tournaments. When I was in college, I competed in my first national tournament, which was the East Coast Open, and I won a bronze medal in sparring. That was my first national competition, and it's just like Trey, my first international competition was the WOMA World Games in 2011.
Wonderful. And you're talking about all these tournaments you participated in, and you just letting them flow off your tongue. But you really have accomplished a great deal. And a lot of times, and I want you both to realize that you have accomplished a great deal. And I want to say to you, always be very thankful and proud of what you have accomplished. And don't minimize it. You have accomplished a phenomenal amount. Just sitting here listening to you, you have accomplished a phenomenal amount. And I'm very, very proud of you in all of your accomplishments. It's wonderful. Now, let's see now. What is involved in preparing for an international tournament, Robin?
I think the preparation for the World Games is probably the most difficult thing I've ever had to do. There's a physical preparation and there's also a mental preparation. In terms of physical preparation, the main thing I had to do was conditioning. Really training my body to get a lot of stamina, get my wind up and things like that for sparring, because 2 minutes doesn't sound like a long time, but when you're in the ring and you're moving around, it can be a lot. So I had to do a lot of sparring practice. I really had to hone my technique. One of my instructors was really focusing on cleaning up my technique in my form so that it would look precise and that I could move with precision. And in terms of the mental preparation, first I had to convince myself that I could do it. Sometimes you look at an international tournament and you wonder, you know, if you're ready to compete at that level. And I really have my instructors to thank for that, because while they were difficult on me in training, they were also encouraging me the entire time that, you know, I really could do it and that I was ready or I wouldn't be in that position.
Exactly. And one of the things that's very important when you're training as a woman, sometimes like young people in school, in IT school, one of the things that is a criticism is that sometimes we're not as exact with females, or that we're afraid that they might cry, and so we don't really train them properly. And I want to give you an example. My sister is a dynamo when it comes to playing ping pong, and she only learned how to play well because they used to just beat her so bad that the only way for her to stay on the ping pong table was to learn how to play. Me, on the other hand, they were just sort of like, you know, they just let me play. They didn't slam on me really anything, so I never learned how to play.
I can attest to that, because throughout my training, I've usually been the only female. And in fact, in my school, I was the first female to reach the rank of black belt.
Wow.
So in training and in sparring, it's always me against the guys. And even when I was an underbelt at gold and white belt, I was fighting, you know, black belt guys. So yeah, you learn how to toughen up quickly, and you don't look at your gender or your age as, you know, as something that would inhibit your skills. You just have to learn how to overcome that and prove that, yeah, girls can do it too.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing that. And again, I'm just very proud of you. I'm going to be looking at this program and asking some of my students what do they think about the program. I think that probably seeing you two here is going to inspire a lot of young people, and you're going to inspire them about Taekwondo, but I think you will also inspire them about learning to focus, learning to be disciplined, really knowing that just because it isn't easy doesn't mean it isn't worth trying, that it is worth trying. Trey, what does a young person or an adult need to do to get started in Taekwondo?
Well, from my perspective, there's a lot of things you need to do, but the main things you need to do is you have to be like, you really want to do this. Like, if there's any other thing, like singing, if somebody really wants to do this, like really a lot, you have to, you know, be confident, and you will have to want to do it, have the will to do it. So you have the will to do martial arts, and then that's when you take it from beyond, and you actually have to practice a little bit what you know, like watch it from, like maybe copy it a little bit, and then you have to find your school location, and hopefully you can start.
Wonderful. So you said you really have to have the will to do it. What does that mean? Does it mean that you have to really want to go out and and seek somebody to help you learn it, or do you just have to just feel very strongly that you want to do it?
I think you have to feel very strong because if you don't feel very strong about something, then that means that like you don't really care about it, that you think everything's going to be a piece of cake. It's not going to be a piece of cake. It's martial arts, and that is a really hard sport to do because it has to have focus. So you have to really have the will, and you have to say, okay, I really want to do this, and I really want to be inspired to become this person.
Good answer, and I really thank you for being honest and saying that it looks great, but it's a lot of work. It's intense.
Yep.
It involves, according to Robin, your mind, your mental capacity. It involves the physical condition, according to Robin and yourself.
See, when you do martial arts, the physical condition, when you learn it a little bit, it's going to feel awkward to you because for me, when I first learned it, it felt awkward. But other people, if they have the will to do it and they have the strong to do it and they can say, I can take this pain, then it's going to feel good to them. And they're going to think that since I got through this, I can get through this. And maybe years later, you'll be at a black belt.
Fantastic. All right, Robin, I'm trying to make sure that I have gleaned as much information from you two as possible. I think this is so exciting. And of course, I want to make sure that I give you an opportunity to, say what medals you have won. You have, gained medals in certain categories. So, Robin, could you please tell us, you can even point to the medals you have, or whichever way you would like to do it. But which awards have you won?
Sure. I won at the World Games. I won 5 medals. I won 2 gold, a silver, and 2 bronze. And the gold that I'm wearing was for the creative weapons division. And my other gold medal was for breaking, when you actually have someone hold boards and you break through the boards. And then my silver was in Korean traditional forms. And my 2 bronze medals were in point sparring and continuous sparring.
Thank you. Very impressive. 5 medals. 5. Fantastic.
And I also, I competed in the Grand Championship, but I lost by 1/1000th of a point. So I was this close, but maybe next year.
Robin, when you have that opportunity at every point in your career, there are pivotal moments. And a lot of times the pivotal moment is not when you won something, but sometimes when you got really, really close. So I'm still know that you have many, many more great exhibitions and more experiences that you want to participate in Taekwondo. I expect you to do more great things. 5 medals is very impressive. Congratulations. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Trey! Even you won some medals. Unbelievable.
Yes.
Whoa. Okay. Can you tell me a little bit about the medals you won?
Well, I'm not proud, but I only competed in 2 divisions. But next time I get a chance, I want to compete in 6, all divisions. But when I did compete in those 2 divisions, I actually got a gold medal that's around my neck right now. This is a gold medal, and this in creative forms, which I told you that you just let the flow go, no tradition. And point sparring, that's really different from, that's silver. It's really different from continuous point sparring. You have 2 minutes, and you have to achieve more points than your opponent in the 2 minutes of time. So
wonderful. Now, of course, for you to achieve more points than your opponent requires mental capacity.
It actually does. Wales, I had to know that from other tournaments. I went to the Capital Classics before the Warren's tournaments, and the Capital Classics is one of the most packed tournaments. I learned that you have to move. You have to, like when you get home and practice, you have to move, and you have to know when to attack and when to not attack. So, and when to defend yourself. You have to play offense or defense. So, yes, I learned that, and yes.
And you also have to anticipate your opponent's
Yep.
moves.
You have to. What my instructor says is, look at their body, and you'll know what they'll do. Like if you look at their eyes and you see that their hand is like cocked, and you see that they're about to throw it, you still have to anticipate the kick, because what I do is I have my hand like this and I throw a kick, and that's more effective. So I looked at the hand and the feet, and then I look at the body, and then that's when I know to go on a defense and then attack.
Great thinking. And of course, we know our bodies are like building blocks.
Yep.
And so, in order for us to maintain our balance, and you have to maintain your balance in Taekwondo.
Always.
When I did not when I was little, I didn't know what I was doing. I was going out there trying to spar, be a champion like Bruce Lee. I actually got knocked down because like I had my guards down, and like now I'm still having trouble, but I had this cocky side of me, and now I know that it's not fun to be on the ground a lot.
I wouldn't think so. And part of, when we go back to the idea, that concept of building blocks, every time you move a part of your body, it affects the rest of the body.
Yep.
And so that's very important, because that's also true in dance. You have to understand that you're like a building block. And even in art, when you draw, if you understand how the body works, then you know where to put something, because if you shift a part of the body, you have to make some adjustments elsewhere in the body. So this is very exciting. Now, Robin, I wanted to give you an opportunity to tell us, the audience, our television audience, anything else about yourself that you'd like to tell us.
Well, as you know, I've been training in the martial arts for many years. I've trained in both ITF and WTF. When I was in college, I did WTF. And I've also learned a little bit of Shotokan and a little bit of Jiu-Jitsu. So I've kind of dabbled in different areas of the martial arts, and I feel like it has made me more well-rounded as a martial artist and a competitor. And I just enjoy studying the art. I like learning the history. I like learning, you know, what the movements mean. I like creating forms. When two of my students competed in a tournament last year, I actually helped them to create a form that they did together as a team. And it turned out to be really amazing. And because I'm a graphic designer for my day job, I like bringing creativity into other things that I do. So I really had fun doing that.
Let me ask you a question. First of all, which college did you attend?
For undergrad, I attended Philadelphia University, and I majored in graphic design communication. And right now, I'm wrapping up my Master of Professional Studies in the Business of Art and Design at the Maryland Institute College of Art.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Okay, now Trey, I know you have a lot of buddies out there in the television audience. What would you like to share with our television audience right now?
Before I say it, I want to give a shout out to my parents, my family, my fellow basketball mates and football mates, Master Wyatt, who recently passed away. He was my instructor. He was there from the start. He was there with me for 9 years. That's how long I've been doing this. He was there for me, and it was really sad when he passed, but I always have him on the top of my mind, and every time I do something, I dedicate it to him. So I take martial arts seriously. So that's what I want to get off my chest first. But I want the crowd to know that I'm a silly person. I would love to attend the Florida University College. I like the Florida Gators in Gainesville, but that's a long way. But anyway.
You can get there.
Yeah. I'm 12. I'm a silly person. I'm diverse, like I said earlier. I have football and basketball. And what I want them to know about me is that I take martial arts seriously. And if you want to do a sport, that this comes from my heart. If you want to do a sport, then you have to be dedicated to do it. And you just can't think it's a piece of cake. And like somebody might think, okay, I'm the best just because I can play a video game good. I can do it on the field. Or just because I saw a movie and I can imitate some of the things, then I can do this. But I'm trying to tell the people out there that you have to be dedicated and you have to practice and have the will to actually perform and not just say, okay, I'm gonna do this because I know how to copy this and copy that. So that's what I want to learn. That's what I want everybody to know.
Our time is running short. However, I wanted to give each one of you a chance to do a shout out or make any closing remarks. Who would like to go first?
I'll start.
Okay, Robin.
The first thing I want to do is to thank everybody who sponsored me and everybody who supported me in order to get to the World Games. My family, my friends, my church family, and obviously all of my instructors and the entire Simba Dojang group. I just want to thank everybody who not only sponsored, but just gave me moral support and encouragement throughout my training and throughout the games. And I just want to say something to any other martial artists out there who may be watching. And my advice is to never underestimate yourself and to never think that something is out of your range. The most important thing in martial arts is being consistent and sticking with it, and don't give up when it gets difficult. Because, you know, once you persevere past the most difficult moments, that's when you know you're going from a good martial artist to a great martial artist.
Yep.
I think that's well stated, Robin.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Trey, closing remarks?
Well, Calf Springs Tigers. That's my basketball football team. I really want to shout out them and how we're doing good. I also want to shout out two people, really. My mom. She's my mom, my family, but my mom, she has been on my back. She's been training me, helping me physically and emotionally.
And what's her name?
Her name's Mom. No, sorry. Her name's Tony.
Tony Thorne?
Tony Thorne. I don't want her to get me, but yes, her name's Tony, and she's been like on my back. You can do this, Trey. And I also want to thank Ratico Baker. He's my best friend. He's 20, but he might be old for me, but he's a great guy to be with, my best friend. I've known him for 7 years. He's been training me, letting me come over, teaching me forms and how to do this move and precise. And I really thank Ratico Baker, but Master Wyatt, rest in peace. And I love you, and thank you for all the things you've taught me. And thank you for the Washington Taekwondo Club. Thank you for the whole Woman team. And
wonderful. Well, Robin and Trey, this has been wonderful. I hope to have you come back and visit with me again. This has been an educational moment. I'm your host, Dr. Pat Dingle. Thank you for joining today, and I hope that you'll come and join with us again.